Heroes Toy Reviews is not intended for children or anyone under the age of 17.
Hello everybody and welcome back to yet another episode of Hebrews Toy Reviews. Today on Hebrews Toy Reviews we will be reviewing the Masters Universe Origins Talon Fighter.
Hebrew77 here and welcome to a brand new YouTube channel. This is Hebrews Toy Reviews. But this is the 1983 Jump Jetpack. I just broke his crotch. What do you think about her? I was playing tennis with supermodels.
These are games. This is the owner, Daniel.
Hello everybody and welcome to yet another episode of Hebrews Toy Reviews. And I think I kind of screwed up in the teaser a while ago when I said my intro. This is the intro. So this is Masters of the Universe Origins Talon Fighter. And it is going to be, we're going to open this box and put it together. But we're not going to spend a whole lot of time talking about this, because I noticed that on my Snake Mountain review, I went way too much into detail, and it took actually 2 episodes. So today, we're just going to do an ordinary review and a comparison. I actually have the original. So with no further ado, let's get on with the toy. Here is Masters of the Universe Point Dread and Talon Fighter. Now, I do have Point Dread, the original, but we will not be comparing the 2 Point Dreads, but rather the Talon Fighter. Now, yes, this is still in the box, and there is some amazing box art happening here, so let's go ahead and mention that first. We got He-Man flying in the Talon Fighter. We've got Zodak in the Point Dread station. We got Skeletor, looks like Man-at-Arms, Merman, Beastman, and Triclops in the Roton, which I have the Roton. And here at the top of the box, we've got a sort of retro style looking commercial with a little boy there playing with the Talon Fighter. And you can see it does attach to the top of Castle Grayskull, which I'm going to do something rather unusual and try to attach this one to my old Castle Grayskull. The back of the box gives you more of the same, with He-Man battling out with Skeletor, but here you can see that the Talon Fighter does seat 2 people. And there is Stratos in this art, box art on the back here, and also on the back here we have the Talon Fighter and Point Dread, and over here they demonstrate how He-Man works with Point Dread, and there appears to be 2 different setups going on here. Can we zoom in on that? We've got, of course, Zodak with the Point Dread. Blast enemies with outpost cannon. So now that we've looked at the box and the box art and all the goodies that are on the box, let's go ahead, get this thing out and put it together. Okay, I got this out of the box here. You can see the instructions. We are probably going to need that since I've never built one of these from scratch. This is part of Point Dread here. And here's the other piece of Point Dread, which, look at that. I've got Castle Grayskull down there. That's going to attach to that. I love this already. Okay, in here we've got the little satellite. We've got the perch. We've got the 2 talons. And, of course, the piece of leather resistance, the Talon fighter itself, which we will use that for comparison. Put that down there for now. And let's see, here's the other piece of point thread. This is amazing. Oh yeah, there's it's all stickered. I love that part, as you know, and this will be a nice added piece to Castle Grayskull, extending the roof. Of course, once it's extended, I won't be able to fit it on top of my top shelf, just as with Snake Mountain. Alright, well, I'm going to put all this together, and I don't think I'm going to show myself putting it together because it's a vehicle. So we'll put this to the side. And actually, this can almost be counted as a play set, if you will. But for now, let's get it put together. And here is everything assembled. Here is Point Dread. Here is the Talon fighter with the wings, satellite dish, the claws, and handle all snapped together. Now, the beautiful thing about this Talon fighter versus the original, which I don't have my satellite or wings for the original, is that the original, this part here doesn't have any actual windows, which may or may not be an advantage or disadvantage. The new one, however, they put thought behind this toy to put plastic in here. I love the plastic for the windows. It makes it look more realistic. It makes it look like it has, you know, actual windows like any kind of flying machine or vehicle should have. But now we, you know, since we got it put together, let's go ahead and open this. And I gotta say also, opening this was no picnic, unlike this one, which just kind of flops up and down. So we will open this with two hands, and on the inside of the Talon fighter, you can see there's plenty of space in here to keep two figures, just as it shows on the box. You have your tool hatch in the back, which is kind of reminiscent of those old trucks that had toolboxes on the back of them, the old pickup trucks. Look at all these various tools here. This looks like sort of like a hammer axe. There's different size wrenches. There's a first aid kit. There's a fire extinguisher. Not quite sure what that is. It kind of looks like a spatula. I'm sure that's not what that is. There's a gun there, so they do have, so maybe this is just an axe. They have weapons in there. And then we go and we take a look at the control panels, and you can see dials, gauges, a vent, and some buttons here, looks like. More dials here. Gauges. It's pretty cool looking and almost like the original, which, let's look at the original. You kind of have the same exact thing going on here with the dials and other stuff. One detail that I just now noticed is there's a clipboard in the original with scribbles. Well, when you look at the new one, the clipboard's still there, but they didn't put scribbles on there, which is kind of cool because the scribbles kind of look silly. And they both have the emergency kit. I still don't know what that spatula looking thing is. Maybe they have a deep fryer and a George Foreman in the cockpit. I don't know. Remember Anchorman 2? Anyway, let's put the original to the side for now. And let's put some figures in this thing. Make it look good. The figures I have available at this time are Battle Armor Skeletor and the original He-Man. We will put Battle Armor Skeletor in the back seat. Then we will put original He-Man in the driver's seat. I assume it's the driver's seat. And another thing that I noticed about the newer one is it actually has handles there for them to drive with, unlike the original, which has no handles. So let's see if they actually fit. Yes, they do. But wait a minute. It's not shutting. There we go. And it actually shuts securely. Now this is cool. Very cool, but we're not done yet. No. We have to now place Point Dread and the Perch on top of Castle Grayskull. I thought I should film me doing this since I don't have an actual review here. And the way this works is this piece here sits on top just like this and clips in. You see the clips? Well, it's supposed to clip right in there, but I think I might have to remove the flag. There's the flag. And now, with nothing in the way, okay, well, I remember the old castle, this is how it worked. Perhaps it just sits up there. I don't know. The instructions actually show it clipping right on top of Grayskull. Do you see the instructions? So maybe it doesn't snap into place. Although it's there we go. Okay, now Point Dread doesn't actually go on top of Castle Grayskull, but if you wanted to, there's a spot back here in the back, and the gun comes off very easily. Ta-da! You could just place it up there. And this gun, I would say, is the only weakest part of the toy. It just kind of sits up there. It doesn't snap in. Now, we will put our... That's going to fall off, by the way. Probably. Now look. Now our Castle Grayskull almost looks as though it has a completed roof. Now let's take our Talon fighter here. And hopefully this works with figures inside. Oh, yeah, you can't... I'm going to put that right there, and there's two pegs. There! Look at that. Look at that. Let's look at the completed Castle Grayskull there with the Talon fighter. Just something about this seems really complete. And I really must say, it's a great addition to Castle Grayskull, along with the stuff that we got earlier on that goes at the bottom, like the horse stable in the Battleground Warriors collection set, which I do have, which I don't think I actually really did a full review on, but I will someday. Now, of course, with the Talon fighter up there is really no way I could put it on top of that shelf next to Snake Mountain, which I had to compromise with Snake Mountain. Now, the Talon fighter and Point Dread playset. What are my thoughts about this toy? Well, I like it. I think it improves on the original with the plastic inside the windows, which gives it a more realistic look. It gives it a better defined look, and it goes right along with the original He-Man figures as well as the Masters Universe Origin figures. And if you sit it right next to the original, they're both roughly the same size. As a matter of fact, check this out. I can fit the two same exact figures in the original Talon fighter. So that gives you some indication that they are the same size. Now, the only gripe, I have two gripes with this playset, is that the lid, when it shuts, it is very hard to get open. So I have the feeling this is going to wear over time, much like the original, as you can see. I love the Point Dread base, but here's my second gripe. This gun just sits. Oh, now it's attached? Okay, there it goes. It just sits on top of this and doesn't really peg in. So I understand why they did that, so you could move it back and forth. But it makes the playset seem not quite as stable as its counterpart, the Talon fighter. Oh, I have a really hard time saying that word. But anyway, if I had to give this toy if I had to give this thing a rating, I would rate this. You know what? I'm going to hold it by the handle. I'm going to rate this 9 out of 10 for awesomeness. Now, that's pretty much all I have to say about this toy. It's this vehicle, I should say. It's a vehicle. This vehicle is amazing. I love the paint details. I love the new sticker. Well, they're the same old sticker. I love the update with Point Dread, because originally this was cardboard that was inserted into the top of this, and somehow, remove this, you can, I mean, it's versatile, right? I could attach it right there if I wanted to. And look, it makes the top of this tower look like it has a bigger tower piece. But anyway, that's it for my review of this vehicle and playset. Well, there you have it. Yet another Masters Universe Origins toy review. Now, next week, we will be talking about Wonder Woman from DC Superpowers collection. That's another show for another time. But as I said, I enjoyed that Talon fighter. It is a awesome vehicle. And one more point I forgot to bring up, and I'll bring it up now, is when you look at the Talon, like the Talons. I got to remember that. When you look at the Talon fighter, there are two colors here that are very specific. Blue and orange. Well, when you think about it, the attack track in the cartoon was blue and orange. And it could fit up to 4 or 5 figures in the cartoon. The Talon fighter can fit up to 2 figures. And I'm pretty sure if we squeezed for it, so can the Wind Raider as well. My point being is that when they came out with the Attack Track toy in the 80s, it was only a 1-figure vehicle, and it looked nothing like the one from the cartoon. This is a huge vehicle, and even though it's a flying vehicle and it doesn't have the tracks, I'm pretty sure that this might be what Mattel was going for. The Talon fighter never shows up in the cartoon, and neither does Point Dread. So that is a really good point that we should think about. Well, that does it for this review. But there'll be other reviews to come. And until next time, just remember, knowing isn't half the battle, it's the whole damn war. We'll see you next time.
Introducing Point Dread and the Talon Fighter. Comes with adventure book and story record with sound effects. Action figures sold separately.
Let's hear He-Man, Skeletor, and the Point Dread stories.
I, Skeletor, will finally defeat He-Man!
I'll use the Talon Fighter to stop Skeletor!
In a flash, He-Man's hurled through space and time.
Surrender to the power of Point Dread's Talon Fighter!
You win, He-Man, but I'll be back!
Point Dread and the Talon Fighter with record and storybook. You have to put it together. Action figures sold separately from Mattel.